Welcome back, reloaders. This is Cluster Reloading Supply. For today's video, we're going to be doing another review for ready-to-load brass. We just did one for 223-556 mix. In today's video, we're going to be discussing 300 AAC Blackout. Very popular cartridge with shooters out there, whether it's home defense, hunting, just blinking. A lot of people tend to gravitate towards this cartridge. So I just ordered from Company B. Once again, it's not to talk trash about competitors or anything like that. I just want to give people an idea of what to expect when you order ready-to-load brass, since YouTube does not seem to have a lot of videos with information regarding this topic outside of like generic, hey, I just got 300 rounds, 500 rounds ready to go. Everything looks good. I'm going to go ahead and shoot it. So going into specifics, some of the topics that we're going to be reviewing are customer service, shipment, cleanliness of product, quantity of parts, match the order, visual inspection for defects, burrs, any other imperfections that will affect fit, form, or function, and of course dimensional. Length of the brass, resize dimensions, shoulder bump, etc. At the end, we're also going to do more or less a price per casing comparison, and also some of the brass stamps that were used to manufacture this one in particular. Without any further wait, let's go ahead and jump into the review. For this video, I ordered 500 units of Company B. Once again, I'm not going to name any companies, just going to review the product and kind of give everybody a baseline expectation of what you're going to get when you order ready-to-load brass, and then compare it to what we manufacture here in Cluster Reloading Supply. So as far as like the quantity, I did get 509 pieces, which is like more or less, you know, like the little bit extra that they throw in there just in case you come across an imperfection or an incorrect round. In my case, I did get 1, 2, 3. However, like the quantity was spot on. I did have some problems with shipment, not so much customer service. I did order the 500 units. The next day I received an email from the company stating that they had made a mistake with their stock and they did not actually have them ready to ship. They told me about 3 to 4 days before the order shipped. It actually took them about, I think, 7 days before the order actually was finally shipped. So 3 days after that, I finally received the components, and here we are. So in regarding to cleanliness of the product, this is a pretty clean product. I'm a lot happier than the cleanliness compared against the 223-556 I just reviewed. I did notice that there's still quite a bit of lubricant on the OML of the casings, on the outer exterior of the casings. Don't know if the corner cup media was able to take care of that. But yeah, after handling some rounds during the inspection, my hands were like dirty from doing it. The back of the primer pocket is quite dirty, something you'd expect from corncob media. The inside, and also could use a little bit of help and love. You can still see some dirt on the inside of the casings. If it was me, I would wash them again and make sure they're nice and clean, ready to go, so I don't have any foreign object debris impacting the performance of the powder. As far as the quality of the product, I was very happy actually with the quality of the product as far as like visual inspection goes. Out of 500 units, I only found one that was defective, meaning it had like some mechanical damage on the exterior that I would put aside and not use. Sorry, trying to locate it right now. There we go. So that's this one right here. Besides this one piece, everything was good. So that's why I'm saying I'm very happy with like the quality. The mouths of the case are nice and rounds, no burrs, not sharp. So they did a great job removing the burrs out there, trimming it down, unlike the other 223 that I reviewed. Just a little bit more love with the kind of like cleanliness of the product. We actually do a wet tumbling. Sorry, one of them just rolled off the table. We do a wet tumbling in clusters, so it kind of leaves you with a kind of like mirror brand new finish. Once again, this does not increase the performance of the product, but it does make it look really nice. So Primer pockets are a pain in the butt to clean. Stainless steel media usually does a pretty good job. Every now and then you still get one that's a little bit dirty, but overall, stainless steel pin media, it's awesome. It's also a little bit painful to deal with once you're done washing it, getting everything out of the casings, rinsing it, so on and so forth, but I'm very happy with like the results. So now we're gonna go into like the actual dimensional inspection of the product. I got my Wilson gauge, I got my dial indicator to check the depth on it, and my calipers to check the length. Once again, we kind of separated worst case condition, best case condition, and to kind of provide some visibility as to like the average of the product. One thing that I did notice, however, that I didn't talk about earlier, is this mandrel marks on the neck of the casing. If you ever manufacture brass or resize brass, majority of the time you're gonna get these marks because your die, it's dirty, or you ran dirty brass through it and now it kind of left scratches on the die, which kind of transpose or transfer to the neck of the case or the product that you're resizing. The other variable that can lead to this type of condition, it's not using enough lubricant while resizing the product. I am going to show you one die that I have from Mighty Armory that I actually had to put away because I did get those defects while resizing 9mm. I started noticing some of the cases with the line going through it pronounced enough where like my nail was catching, so I usually don't like to sell those type of that type of material, so I just kind of toss it away. Upon further inspection of the die, and here's the die, you're gonna see those defects on the inside. Yep, there we go. So you can see the marks. If you run a toothpick through them, they're gonna catch. All these marks have raised material, and usually raised material leads to indentations in the product that you're making. So I would probably need to polish it or something before ever using it again. Probably not gonna do it because I don't want to affect the dimensions. I'm probably just gonna get a new one and move on with my life. However, like that's the reason why I'm saying like either a dirty die or not enough lubricant would lead to those marks. I don't think it'll affect the function of the cartridge. However, I do think it would probably affect the lifespan. So each one of those lines is a stress concentration under the pressure they're on. While shooting, you'll probably, see a significant decrease in the lifespan of these cartridges versus those that don't have these markings on them. All right, so outside of that, let's go ahead and move on with the lead cartridge check. So most of these were either to the -5, and I found some all the way to like -15. I will show you in a minute on the dial indicator. So yeah, the shoulder was bumped a little bit farther down than I usually like to bump them. 300 cartridge is very difficult to manufacture, especially if you're repurposing 5.56 or 223 ammo into 300 Blackout. Not all ammo is made or it's actually okay for the 300 Blackout purpose. The main thing that you're looking for is wall thickness. Anything with the excess of like 13 thou, 14 thou wall thickness will lead to some problems in the chamber, going into battery, extracting the round, etc. If you go to my website, I put a link for 300 Blackout Talk, which is one of the forums, and they go into specifics as to like which cartridges are best to use for 300 Blackout for as far as like treatment and resizing. They do a very thorough topic. It is a very thorough topic. They discuss it in length, and they provide the head stamps that are okay and not okay to use. This one in particular, this company in particular, did send me head stamps that are pretty legit. The majority of them were Lake City brass. I also have some from WCC or WMA, which is like Winchester Military Ammunition, PMC, Federal cartridge. So all of those kind of fall within the either 11 to 12 thou wall thickness, and they're acceptable to use for 300 Blackout. The length varies. I think the shortest one I got was 1.351. This one's 1.354, sorry for the light. The longest one was 1.362. So there we go, 1.3515. Most of the suppliers out there, we trim our 300 Blackout to 1.358 plus or minus 5. We try to shoot for like 1.360. However, like the variance on the setup and once again all the variables that go into it, lubrication, force, trimming, the cutter, lifespan, etc., that will lead to like some variations in the length. However, most of the suppliers do trim to 1.358 plus or minus 5. Here in Cluster Reloading Supply, we kind of follow the same standard. Actually, this one's a little bit shorter, 1.350. I would not use anything below 1.353, which is the minimum, and 1.363, which is the maximum. So yeah, as far as like some of the quick dimensional, the quick visuals, we talked about like some of the mandrel marks. They all have them, and I could run my nail against it and it'll definitely catch. So that's something that I noticed. However, like the actual cartridge is pretty good. I didn't hardly found any defects with the exception of that one that I showed you earlier. The mouth of the case is nice and round, so the expanding ball that they're using is really good. Their equipment is up to speed with the exception of, once again, these marks here. So let's go to our dial indicator and kind of see some of the bumping dimensions that we have on these cartridges. Alright, so we got our SPI dial indicator, our granite block, and our LE Wilson gauge ready to go. Pretty much start measuring some of these cartridges that I order from Company B. Usually want to bump them towards like the bottom end of the spectrum. You got your 0 and your -5. 300 Blackout, it is especially difficult to manufacturers. Most of the people that are going to be making these rounds are going to be bumping them down to like -5, -7 to ensure they're cycling correctly in their weapons. I do the same thing. Anything on like flush to -3, you might have a little bit of snag, some problems kind of taking the round out of the battery. Once you eject it after firing is usually not a problem, but yeah. So these that I purchased, they were kind of all over the place. So I think the one bump down the least was at -5. The worst case condition that I saw was at like -16 or 17, which is a little bit crazy. This is one of them at -16, -17. You can see the lip right there beyond the minimum depth. Let's go ahead and measure it. Just real quick, you want to make sure that you take your measurements on the flat spot here and here outside of the stamps. This one you got -15. -15. This one you got -8. -10. See if we can find one that's at 5 flush. I know I put one here. Nope, -9. This one is at 6. So this is, oh, there we go, at 5. This one has a lot of stamps on the cartridge, so it makes it difficult. But yeah, like I said, it varied from -5 to all the way to down to -15. When I manufactured this cartridge in particular, I like to keep it between -4, -7, max -8. Cycles just fine through the chamber. I even have some rounds here just to be safe. It is an empty cartridge, so right after I make them, I go ahead, load up a bullet to the length that I usually reload these at. I use black Sharpie all around the neck and the shoulder to kind of see if there's a snag or any other problems. It will leave a mark here. It'll remove the Sharpie, and then I'll know what's wrong, whether the neck is larger than it should be, usually with anything wall thickness 14 thou or greater, or maybe the shoulder wasn't bumped correctly. So outside of just checking the brass, I go ahead and load it, put a bullet in it, and cycle it through my AR-15s or AR-10. I don't have a bolt action rifle, so I use the AR platform weapons to check them. Yep, so that concludes our 300 Blackout review. Once again, as far as customer service for this company, I would give it a 3 just because they didn't have the product in stock, although the website did say it was in stock. They took a little bit longer to ship it than what they promised. Cleanliness of the product, I will give them a 4, and this is from a rating of 1 through 5 on all categories. Quantity of the parts matching the order, that's definitely a 5. So I got the 500 rounds and then some extra. Visual inspection for defects, burrs, etc. I'm gonna give them like a 3 because once again, just the marks that I saw on the neck are gonna reduce the lifespan of the cartridge. The dimensional length, I give it a 4. I found some that were undersized. 95% of them were within the size. As far as like the shoulder bump, they do exceed a little bit more than what I'm accustomed to, so I'm gonna give them a 3 on that. The price per casing, I will put it on the video. I haven't done the math, sorry, so I'll put a comment right on the video. And the brand that they use, the brand of brass that they use to manufacture this 300 Blackout, I'll give them a 5. They use all the brass that is acceptable to use and won't cause any headaches for the user. So that concludes our 300 Blackout review. Thanks a lot for joining us once again. If you like these videos, please make sure to give us a thumbs up. Got any questions, any suggestions, please go ahead and comment. Want to give you what you expect, want to make sure that we deliver. So the comments is one way for us to verify that we're meeting your expectations. Make sure you go ahead and check us out at clusterreloading.com for your brass, ready to load brass needs. We have 9mm, 45, 40 Smith & Wesson, 300 Blackout, 5.56, 223 combo, and expanding as the customers request. So have a great day, and we'll see you again in the next video.